Wind farm in Maryland is now getting approval, but a mayor stands up for his city and does not want it approved. Be a strong mayor. Stand up for your city. Don't be a weak mayor like out in LA. We got both of those stories being covered here next on the Energy Newsbeat Daily Stand-Up. Solar bankruptcies show U.S. clean energy is on the edge of a financial cliff. This is an amazing story when you sit back and think U.S. clean energy sector, once hailed as the future of sustainable growth, is teetering on the brink of a financial precipice. A wave of high-profile bankruptcies among solar companies in 2024 and 2025 has exposed deep problems in the industry driven by soaring interest rates. And you go through these. Sonova Energy, one of the largest residential solar providers, filed for Chapter 11 in June of 2025. 718 lay off 55% of its 718 employees. SunPower, a solar industry pioneer since 1985, filed for Chapter 11 in August of 2024, grappling with $2.1 billion in debt. Holy smokes. Solar Mosaic, a leading lender in rooftop solar market, filed for Chapter 11 in early June 2025, halting new loans after failing to secure financing amid policy uncertainties. I'll tell you, rooftop solar is fantastic for folks that are off the grid. But when you're trying to do a grid, it is not necessarily what you want. Here's another one. Lumbo Holdings and iSun also sought bankruptcy in 2024, citing high interest rates. So here's a couple reasons why they're failing. High interest rates, policy shifts, over-leveraged business models, market pressure and competition, and operational mismanagement. I'll tell you what, whenever we take a look at businesses to either buy or sell, or oil and gas as a drilling, as an operation, you got to have a look at what your product costs, what your expenses are. Then you got to take a look at the market, how much demand is going to be there. That's why I like oil and gas, because there's a demand for it. Everything Governor Newsom has been doing has never cost demand. He's always gone after the producers. This is the same thing. If you're going to invest, make sure that the product is sound, good management, good numbers. And I don't give investment advice, but if you do, take a look at the managers and make sure that they've got a very good system. It looks like some of these were built off of subsidies and not on a regular basis. Let's go to the next one here. The uglier side of electric vehicles disposing of the EV batteries. The toxicity of electric vehicles batteries sold from old or burning out EVs is even uglier side than what's known in the Larry Elder documentary, which is fantastic, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly of Electric Vehicles. This article is from Ronald Stein, and it is an outstanding article from him. I highly recommend. I've got how to get in touch with him in the show notes in the article. Please reach out and follow him as well. In the recent California fires, where the Palisades and Eaton fires have collectively destroyed at least 12,000 structures, had a higher than average number of electric vehicles, officials said. Those fires provided real-time sequel of uglier side of EVs not discussed in recently released Larry Elder documentary. Holy smokes, this is huge. It's appalling that the policymakers just in wealthy countries are setting green policies that continue to support humanity atrocities and environmental degradation in poor developing countries that are mining for the exotic minerals and metals to go green. This is absolutely a valid and fair point, and I don't understand why we as a society don't go to the hybrid market where there's technology and it is actually doubling the amount of miles per gallon that you would get. You would not plug them in. It would not, you'd need a fourth of the battery materials and things, but yet you would lower demand. It would be the first time that demand lowering would go on for oil and gas. If you're trying to end oil and gas, that would be the way to do it. In this article, Ronald Stein has pointed out lithium ion batteries are very touchy. If they're punctured, crushed, overheated, they can short circuit. This is incredibly huge. Burning electric EV batteries release toxic gases that pose risk to the health of the environment. Where I added a question in here, and that is, what are the insurance companies going to say, or when are they going to start pricing out EVs for plugging in at home? Once that happens, you're going to see a dramatic cut. I still think Tesla is the company. I look at it as an investment for me personally because I believe Tesla is a technology company and a good investment. The chart says buy. I'm going to be buying it. So let's go to the next story here. OPEC falls short on output promises, implications for oil prices, U.S. investors, and global energy markets. I'll tell you what, this is really interesting is because I rely on industry leaders, and I want to give Josh Young a shout out there. OPEC Plus meeting their quota increase guidance was a major contributor in sending oil prices from $40 in November of 2020 to $130 in June of 2022. That makes me think, is this the same kind of thing? In May of 2025, OPEC announced plans to increase oil production by 411,000 barrels per day, signaling a gradual unwinding of voluntary production cuts to stabilize global oil markets. However, a recent study indicates that this promised output has not materialized, with key producers like Saudi Arabia and others showing the little sign of ramping up production. Is it because they can't, or they've stalled out, or they've hit a wall? And that's a big question. I don't have an answer, but I'm looking for those answers. And so when we take a look, Kazakhstan, Algeria, and Oman agreed to boost output by 411,000 barrels in May, nearly tripling the expected increase of 135,000. And the question remains, was this OPEC management trying to sit back and say, guys, go ahead and produce all you want, and then allows us to get back into balance? I'm not sure. But I'll tell you what, I'm watching it. We've got a great chart in here from OPEC on the Sandstone Asset Management and the group taking a look there. And then you take a look at Josh Young. I put a second one in the article here from Josh. Inflation adjusted oil and gas exploration has hit its lowest point since the post-World War II era. This is critical from Josh. You combine those two posts from Josh Young and you sit back and kind of look at, I'm a bull and I need to go talk to my bull in the backyard, but he's going, buy oil, Stu. I'm telling you, as long as we have the China and India matching out for demand, you got to look at demand, supply, and you take a look at where that price is going to roll in. And these two posts from Josh Young are critical. Let's go to the next story here. I did not have this story on my bingo card when I woke up this morning. The LA unrest poses a pressing national security risk to the United States. This one is from Andrew Koryoboko's newsletter. He is actually a Russian, and I got tickled at this because I was like, wow, how did this happen? The large-scale unrest gripped large parts of Los Angeles since late last week, and it's getting worse. When Trump authorized the National Guard to restore order, but clashes still continue, and he brings up some great points in here, and his last point in here is, therein lies the objective of the real orchestration of political opportunities, depending on one belief, who's behind the riots. It's all about eroding Trump's authority, misportraying him as a fascist dictator, and altogether galvanizing the Democrats far ahead of 2026 midterms. These goals are being advanced by autonomously acting participants government professionals like some of the first, not realizing the role they're playing in the larger scheme. This description does not automatically imply regime change intentions nor the involvement of a foreign government. It refers only to weaponization of protests, which nowadays is commonplace. The reported involvement of so many diverse actors in this shows how serious the attempt is to destabilize the Trump administration, which could have far reaching global implications. Coming from a Russian author, I found very humorous that he actually nailed it right out of the park. These are a staged event funded by somebody. The bricks don't show up without being funded by somebody. And then you have Karen Bass, who is the mayor out there, who is absolutely an idiot and unbelievable. Governor Newsom, you are absolutely a disgrace. And I wish the best for everybody in California. Do not fall for this. These are paid actors that are going out there. In my opinion, there's been ads going out there. We want tough guys. Those posts are out there. I've seen the posts. People are being paid to be out there. Don't fall for it. Don't get out there. And all the ones that are coming out across the United States, don't fall for it. We are a great nation. And I want to give Steve Reese a shout out. Hey, Steve, go to Reese Energy Consulting, reeseenergyconsulting.com. And I guarantee you, if you are moving molecules from the Haynesville to Germany, or if you're building a data center, Steve Reese is the guy for you. His team are quality people. Give Steve a shout out and give him a yell. Let's go to our last story here for the day. Court challenged wind project off Maryland cleared to start construction. I got really tickled at this story that came in on our news feed. So I added the Maryland's energy mix. They have 40% nuclear, which means that you can afford to put some wind on your grid because you've got a steady baseline. They've got natural gas, 34%. They've got coal declining due to plant closures and environmental regulatory issues. But the wind, the moment you put a wind farm on your grid, your prices are going to go up. And it is in there that the prices are going to go up. But I got tickled at the mayor. The mayor actually came in an update that came in on it. U.S. Winds Project will produce massive amounts of homegrown energy and will satisfy the region's critical need for more electricity, said Jeffrey Gobowski, U.S. Wind CEO. However, further project development is still not clear cut. Aside from the looming distaste for offshore wind from the Trump administration, there's an ongoing lawsuit to challenge the BOEM's approval. The entire economy of our coastal resort town, this is a quote from the mayor, Rick Maheen, Ocean City mayor. The entire economy of our coastal resort town is dependent on tourism. Our ecosystem and commercial fishing all will be significantly impacted if hundreds of these giant eyesores are constructed 10 miles from our beaches, said Rick. Hats off to Rick. Stand up for your city. Be a mayor. Don't be like the mayor in LA who is just turning over and just handing the city to the illegal aliens. Rick, way to go. Be a mayor. I'm proud of you. Fight for your citizens, and the whales will be very proud of you as well. Like, subscribe, share, read this to your kids, read this to your pets. Thank you all to all of our great, wonderful Substack subscribers, paid subscribers, as well as all the folks that support the show. Thank you. Have an absolutely fantastic day. We'll talk to you all soon.